Forget everything you think you know about ancient warfare. Now, picture this, the dust rising on an ancient battlefield. On one side, the disciplined and unstoppable Roman legions. On the other, the fearless Spartan warriors, born and trained for war since childhood. They never met in real history. But today, we're asking one of the greatest what-ifs of all time. What if Spartans fought Roman legions? Would the sons of Sparta hold the line? Or would Rome's unstoppable machine crush them under its banners? We're diving deep into strategy, discipline, and pure human will to find out who would truly reign supreme. In the ancient world, few names carried more fear than Sparta and Rome. The Spartans were not just soldiers. They were warriors raised from birth to fight. Every man in Sparta was trained for battle. Their entire society built around the idea that weakness had no place among them. Across the centuries, the Romans built something different, an empire powered by discipline, innovation, and unmatched organization. Their legions didn't just fight. They conquered, adapted, and built nations from the ashes of war. So what makes this question so fascinating? Because both believed they were unstoppable. But if they had faced each other, only one side would walk away. Are we about to rewrite history or confirm what we already suspect? Let's start with Sparta, the ultimate symbol of warrior pride. The Spartan phalanx was their heart and soul. Imagine hundreds of men standing shoulder to shoulder, shields locked, spears pointing forward, moving as one solid wall of bronze. Their dory spears were long, their shields massive, and their formation so tight that even arrows found it hard to break through. Every Spartan warrior was trained from the age of 7. They were taught to fight, to endure pain, and to never retreat. Their courage wasn't just physical. It was a belief that death in battle was the greatest honor a man could earn. But perfection always has limits. The Spartan system worked best in small numbers, elite, but few. Their strength relied on unity, but not on flexibility. Once their phalanx was broken or surrounded, they struggled to adapt. They needed flat, open ground to fight effectively. Rough terrain or uneven fields could destroy their formation. And while they were unmatched in hand-to-hand combat, they lacked the logistics, the supply lines, engineers, and long-term strategy that great empires depended on. In short, Sparta was like a sword, sharp, deadly, but limited in range. Now, let's meet their opponent, the Roman legion. If Sparta was the sword, Rome was the entire armory. By the height of its power, Rome's military machine was unmatched. Their tactics evolved constantly. They learned from every enemy they faced, the Greeks, the Gauls, the Carthaginians, and each time they came back stronger. The Roman legion was divided into smaller, flexible units called maniples. This system allowed them to move, adapt, and react to changing situations on the battlefield. They didn't fight as one rigid block. They fought like a living, breathing organism. Each soldier carried a pilum, a heavy throwing spear designed to pierce shields and armor, followed by the gladius, a short sword for deadly close combat. They trained endlessly, drilled daily, and built camps and fortifications wherever they went. And their secret weapon wasn't just their weapons, it was organization. Roman engineers built roads, bridges, and siege machines faster than anyone else. Their supply lines were efficient, their leadership professional. Every battle was planned like a calculation, and emotion had no place in it. But Rome wasn't perfect either. They relied on heavy armor, which could slow them down. Their strength came from large numbers, meaning they needed space, time, and command structure to be effective. And when faced with enemies who fought unpredictably or on harsh terrain, they could falter, at least for a moment. So, could the disciplined, fast-moving phalanx of Sparta break the massive, organized force of Rome? Let's find out. Picture a wide plain under the blazing sun. The Spartans advance in perfect formation. shields shining, spears ready, moving as one unstoppable wall. The Romans stand firm, waiting, their lines broken into smaller strategic groups. When the first clash happens, the sound is thunderous. Steel meeting bronze, shield slamming against shield. For a moment, the Spartans dominate. Their front line holds, pushing back the Roman center. But this is where Roman flexibility shows its power. Instead of pushing head-on, Roman officers order the wings to curve around, slowly surrounding the flanks. The Spartan phalanx, trapped and unable to turn quickly, begins to break. In a long open battle, the Roman adaptability and command control would likely give them the edge. So, who wins in this clash of legends? If we imagine a small, controlled battle, maybe a narrow pass like Thermopylae, the Spartans could absolutely hold their ground. Their discipline, courage, and close combat skill could tear through even the best Roman units. But in almost every other situation, open battle, siege, or long-term war, the Roman legions would take the victory. Their adaptability, logistics, and massive resources made them nearly impossible to beat. Rome's strength wasn't just in its soldiers, it was in its system. Every legion was backed by infrastructure, intelligence, and strategy. Sparta, for all its heroism, was never built for empire. It was built for glory on the battlefield. So, if the Spartans fought the Romans, it would be a battle for the ages. Bravery versus brilliance, tradition versus technology, pride versus power. And while the Spartans might win the first clash, Rome would win the war. But here's the real question. In a fight between discipline and spirit, which one would you bet on? If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to leave your take below, because the debate between Sparta and Rome has only just begun.